The last all hands. Oh, I expected some reactions, guys. Are we not excited?
Hmm.
Nice, 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 nice. So to kick things off, Jan would just give us the opening remarks to close the year, to close the all hands, but start it at the same time. Jan,
Should I start already? Okay.
yes,
Not
yes.
that many people actually today, so I don't know what happened, but we've seen more people. Um, yeah. So, oh yeah, I thought I was a little bit confused. I thought today we also had a retrospective of the circles, but that is not happening.
No.
No,
Okay.
no, it's not happening.
Okay. Well, maybe for the better because that will give us some more time for some other things. I was feeling a little bit guilty to carve out some time out of that retrospective meeting, but I have to be less guilty, I suppose. So let's get started. I'll share my screen. Um, oh, request. Because that share button is the only green button, I always overlook it because somehow I always look at all the others except the green one. All right, there we are. Well, beautiful slide, isn't it? Uh,
Yes, very, very nice.
Let me just organize my things a little bit here. So I can see you and my screen. So let's see if we can go to the next slide. Also a pretty nice one, I would say. Strategy and goals 2026, deeper alignment with ASI. So some things are changing and they are changing as we speak. So I created a presentation like yesterday or something, but this morning I had to change it a little bit because wasn't quite sure where it will end. So my expectation is that it will probably lead us a little bit into January before we everything will be clear enough on how things will unfold. But I think it's necessary for you to be aware of these changes, even though the endpoint is not quite that clear yet. Also, because we were planning to have the health yearly report done. And normally we ask you about not only retrospective, but also what are your plans for the next health year? And I think it wouldn't be right and proper to ask you for plans and estimates if there are a lot of things cooking that you're not aware of. So yeah, I think it's fairly impossible for you to do that exercise, even with the information that I will be giving you right now, because there are still quite a few moving targets here. So maybe that raised your curiosity a little bit. So let me walk you through it. A lot of text on this website, on this slide. I have to go a little bit back to read it. Um, so we're entering a period of transition. We're coming, as you all know, there has been a little bit of a large bit of a tumultuous period with Ocean leaving the alliance, and that had all kind of impact on organization, on politics, on token price, etc. But we're recovering from that. We're getting out of that at least and plodding our way forward. Now, the very good news, and Charlie here can probably confirm that, is that our SingularityNet and ASI tech stack is developing quickly and progressively. It's really going well. I see shining eyes in meetings of people about the last meeting and the one before that. And yeah, we're really scaling up there. And this also offers new opportunities. This offers new opportunities for developers to get hands-on with our solutions, hands-on with Meta, which works much faster, so we can make actual useful solutions with it. Together with Morg, which will be implemented in DAS and DAS itself, and ASI Chain, which is now in developer release and working on testnet release, and more ASI creators and even here. So with these things happening, with the tumultuous period behind us, with ASI chain mainnet before us, we're in kind of an intermediate, an intermezzo. And during this time, we really want to focus, maybe that's also on the next slide, on community building. We want to prepare the community for the deployment on mainnet of ASI chain and then being connected with elements of Hyperon and already having all that stuff available to us right now. So our focus for the next, 6 months, maybe longer, actually also after that, will be community building on the SingularityNet and DEEP and ASI tech stack. That also means that during this period, until ASI chain is there, we will be a little bit or a lot conservative with new RFPs, let alone rounds and other things. We might see something, but more very targeted and dedicated. But not broad sweeping RFPs, and the budget will be restricted that we will have available during that period because we want to focus on the community, we want to focus on the development and support of that tech stack and not be distracted by other things, basically. This also opens other opportunities, so opportunities for SingularityNet and DEEP to align more. Because the goal for DEEP and SingularityNet are now completely overlapping, supporting these technologies. There are also maybe more opportunities than normal to also collaborate and sync our efforts on marketing, on developer outreach, and on other areas where currently there are multiple teams working in multiple areas, seeing if we can combine our efforts and sync that in some way. Maybe before I go further, Charlie, it's always best to hear these things from the source. Am I right that the technical team is enthusiastic about the developments? Is there anything you can share with us?
Yeah, I think that my sense, I've only been working since March 1st is when I started. So I've got less than a year under my belt this time around. I did work for Ben, and Matt was my office mate back 20 plus years ago. So in coming in, I have some sort of new eyes on things, but I'm very much seeing them from the technical point of view. My role is AI research and development, and I'm on the predictive coding team, but I've also been given a lot of other, I keep getting more tasks in other areas, sort of dropped on my shoulders as Ben likes to do, say, oh, that's not enough.
We can use you also in deep funding, by the way.
Well, I'll try to parcel out a little bit, but yes, there's all kinds of exciting things, and I would just want to temper it a little bit because I think that one of the challenges is that there's so many really cool things that are happening on the technical front, but oftentimes they're very narrow and focused. And so I see a challenge, which maybe deep funding can somehow help with, of trying to integrate the things that are happening in these different silos of research and development, right? And you listed them. Can you go back on your slide? Yeah, so no, it was this one, right? The third bullet point there. You mentioned Meta, Mork, DAS, ASI chain, and more, right?
XQC being one of the more here, right?
That's right. But I think that you're right to focus on these four because they've made more progress than we have. the predictive coding group only started when I started, around the early part of this year. So we're sort of new. That's our excuse for not having made more progress yet. But the the thing that I would want to add is that the way these work, and you haven't, there's some other efforts. PLN is another one, the probabilistic logic network, right, which is sort of a component. It's from the old Hyperon experimental, which Mork is meant to replace in terms of how meta gets implemented. We have the PETA project, which is really going full steam in terms of technical implementation of meta. We've got a fast meta compiler there that that has gotten us over this hump where the Hyperon experimental was sort of bogged down with a dog slow process that couldn't handle lots of computation. So we're solving a lot of complex problems in specific ways that make each one of these things push forward. But I see the real challenge as to knit them all together, right? And so that, right, we've got Greg and the Firefly team that are working on ASI chain with Nick and some other folks. And, yes, it's going forward. Ben always seems to believe that we can go faster than we can, and it's great to have him pushing us, and we are, making progress at a rate that's amazing. But I guess again, I just want to emphasize that a lot of the challenges now are taking these really cool solutions that exist in sort of a microcosm in each one of these areas and getting them to knit together. So I don't know if that's helpful, Jan, but that's what I got.
Yeah. So that's also what I hear. That's also what I hear Matt say. So all these elements are getting at a mature stage, and now we're getting at a stage that we bring them together. He literally makes that movement when he says that. And that is a very exciting moment because then we will see how they will interoperate and what we maybe start seeing real value coming out of that. But also in terms of speed and increase and so on, it's currently more available for developers to work with, and Meta or Beta is a good example of that.
You
And
know,
yeah,
I just wanted to, there's one thing I just forgot, which I don't work with directly, but in Istanbul, I got to meet Kennedy, and her team with Rejuve is doing some amazing things. And they've got some really great opportunities that are coming forward where we may need to scale up some of this stuff. And so there are challenges there too. So.
yeah, a DAS node with a billion nodes of gene information, and yeah, that's quite impressive. Yeah, and they had that for a while, and I don't know. Yeah, they're building an application around that, so that's interesting. But this is a good example. I will go touch that later in this hopefully not too long presentation. Um, I already heard something new here today. PLN, Mork as a replacement of PLN. I didn't recognize that as such before. And this is the kind of education we have to give people. How does Rejuve use Hyperon and DAS? What is there? What are all these elements and how can we bring them together? There is so much to learn and so much to educate. And yeah, I hope that deep funding and developer outreach and us together can find a new or renewed role in bringing all that educational content together on a technical level, but also on a level that is accessible for less technical people, like myself, by the way. Um, so yeah, there are definitely challenges and opportunities. So what we will focus on is the education and community building. And yeah, education ties into the things that we are just touching on, community building also, by the way, in a different way. Um, conservative, oh, I already had this, right? Yeah, I already had this one. So this also means with fewer new funding options coming in and more attention to developer outreach and maybe also to this educational content. There's also an assignment for us to become more execution-driven, project-oriented organization. And in some of the cases, it will be SingularityNet, ASI, asking deep funding for specific tasks and outputs. So that's an opportunity in itself if we are ready for it. And we have talked about operations as a service before. It's one of our ambitions. Rafael has a lot to say about that if he would have the time and be in the right position. By the way, Rafael, thanks for being here. You're in transition. You're on the airport. It's great to see your face and wonderful for you to join even in these hectic circumstances.
Yeah, sure.
Operations as a
I wouldn't miss.
Yeah, go ahead. Operations as a service is something I also always saw most in the case that we onboard a partner organization that wants to fund an RFP or a round or whatever, and then they could also benefit from our marketing department, for instance, or other departments and issue a task. But it might now be that also SingularityNet could be a kind of customer to us in that way. Other things that we can do in this around the context of building this global community of ASI developers are things like peer-to-peer educational sessions. This is something that Roho is working on. He would love to start some Twitch session, live coding session, where he and interested people that would like to hear more about all these technologies will come together and jointly work on some challenges, go through that together and learn together. So that will be very organic, unstructured, and really for the right kind of people. I would say senior developers that have some appetite for the more abstract functional programming and those kind of things, not for everybody. Hackathons, the developer outreach team has done a great job lately in hackathons in India and a national hackathon in Nigeria. Great to see that evolve. There are also some initiatives lined up in SingularityNet, and this is where we really can join forces. And maybe we and our development outreach team can take over some of the work of SingularityNet. Local hubs, we have community hubs. I mention here developer hubs because I would like to see a kind of flavor of hubs that are also dedicated to coding and to our tech stack. Local hubs that can bring people together and that can also serve a role in supporting hackathons. I can imagine we do a global hackathon, but with local hotspots, hubs that would support it. And I give it a different name than community hubs because I think we'll see they will have a different conditions, different benefits, different KPIs than general purpose hubs. Although the current community hubs have also been useful and instrumental in supporting the previous hackathons. So maybe at the end of the day, we'll put them all together again. I don't know, but that's something we need to work out. Last point here, I think there's a lot of opportunity to create really good material, educational material, structured with different material, things like video or text or visual information, audio maybe. And wrap that all together in nice lessons. We talked about Academy 3-4 months ago. Maybe we don't need a real academy at this moment, but what we do need is giving people access to the material in a very easy and intuitive way, and then all the academic stuff will come later. So maybe we also need a platform for that. Maybe we can use a platform that's already out there, but we will see. This is what I think needs to be done. Whether these things will be done by SingularityNet, by deep funding, by us together, maybe even by another entity, that is to be determined. But there is a need and therefore also an opportunity. Just one sentence slide. Yeah, our regular stuff will still go on. We will continue approving or rejecting milestones and pay approved milestones and reward the awarded teams that way. We will be more strict in assessing whether teams are fulfilling on their promise. Also, time-based, there are some teams that haven't delivered any milestone over a long period, and we might just firmly push them to the outside because it's no use for either parties to stay along and hang along. Let's be clear about that. So that's something we might see happen in the coming weeks as well. So, summarizing, we're entering an intermediate phase where that requires a more execution-oriented organization. Let's just read it out loud. After this, after ASI chain, I think that is the major milestone that we're looking at currently. Hyperon will continue to evolve and evolve and evolve, and it's not a single milestone that we're looking at. But for ASI chain, we have the milestone having a real functional working mainnet. After that happens, the expectation is that we will see more funding coming along and more opportunities, and we can spread out again. During that intermediate period, we need to be lean and mean, well, maybe not mean, but lean and target-oriented, execution-oriented, I should say. Yeah. So how does this impact our strategy? Let me walk you through these slides, and I'll do it a little bit quickly, I hope. So currently, our purpose is creating a beneficial AGI. Now, of course, nothing changes in that. That's still our purpose, and we will continue to build on that. Our first strategic goal used to be help the decentralized AI platform grow. Then we changed it a little bit and saying, well, there's OpenCog Hyperon, which is on the platform maybe, but if we just support OpenCog Hyperon directly, yeah, that also makes sense. So it was Marketplace and OpenCog Hyperon. And now we're changing that a little bit again, a little bit nuance, the ASI tech stack. So we are not focusing on SEC on the marketplace, the current marketplace. For those of you who paid attention and saw the document of Ben in the town Hypercube, you actually read it. You are aware of the ideas about a new, renewed, rethought, reinvented platform on ASI chain, which looks very exciting, but is a little bit out. Therefore, in the intermediate period, until that is all live again, we'll focus our efforts on ASI chain and Hyperon. So it's a little bit evolving the goal, but in essence, it's still the same. The second strategic goal used to be creating a community of builders. Well, that's just re-emphasized right now. Maybe even our first goal, because the first and the second really go together and you could see them as one thing. With the nuance right now that this community of builders should also be targeted on Hyperon, ASI chain, Meta, those things. So any new initiatives that we will take, for instance, a new lab pod or whatever, we want them to be focused on this technology. That is the basic message here. There are two more goals. Last year we invented this third goal, making DEEP a platform, so that DEEP could accept other tenants, if you want, other partners or customers that could also provide funding and then start an RFP or a round or an ideation challenge or a lab pod. We will submit our smart contract for audit next week. And then the beginning of next year or so, we should have that implemented, and might need some work on the legal framework, but then we're basically have everything done. And we could, in theory, accept partners and customers. The benefits of this would be that it would make DEEP more resilient, because having more partners and more funding options makes you less reliable on one. And as you can see, also in our history, it's a little bit of a wave. Sometimes there are a lot of things happening. Sometimes there is a more quiet period, and sometimes that quiet period takes a little bit longer than we want. And if we would have multiple organizations on DEEP, then yeah, these will compensate each other, and hopefully there will always be something to do. There will always be a bunch of RFPs, always around maybe an ideation challenge and lab projects. And if we achieve that, we will also attract builders, because there's always something to do, and there's a greater variety of projects and so on DEEP. And that will also attract a greater variety of developers, which makes the whole ecosystem more interesting. And of course, all these companies that would enter our platform need to be aligned with our mission and vision and ethics. So we should have the same ultimate goals. And if we have more people like that on our platform, more entities and more funding, yeah, we will only reach our own goals faster as well. So that's another one. Now, that is the good thing. Well, actually, there's another, the other thing is neutral. It's not good or bad, I would say. We want to work on DEEP funding as a platform in a performance-based way, meaning that's yet another opportunity. It will not be just based on hourly pay, but if you bring on a lead, or if you close a deal, and a deal would then mean would be well, let me rephrase. If you close a deal, you would get a reward, and we're working on a framework for that that specifies what rewards for a lead, for closing, for which kind of things. And it would be, you would be rewarded the moment that, for instance, an organization actually allocates some money to a project. So that would be an invitation for all of you to become part of the BizDev circle in a way, by attracting leads and helping to get these contracts closed. More about that later. And then strategic goal 4 is become more about operational excellence, if you want. We already have a lot of tooling around that. We're creating more tooling even around that. And we should also improve our processes and our people and our expertise and everything. And we can make all of that available, not only to ourselves, but now also to others, to SingularityNet, for instance. So yeah, these things will still be hourly based. So if we get well, actually both hourly based and project based, it may be that SingularityNet will give us a project with a fixed scope and a fixed fee for us to do on one day, and maybe the next day it will be more like a task that is hourly based and works on the regular way. But this could be another revenue stream for DEEP funding. And if we are able to expand that not only to SingularityNet, but also to partners or other interested people, it would be another revenue stream, which would make DEEP even more resilient. So yeah, I can imagine a future where DEEP is renowned for having a community of, well, ASI-aligned developers. I think that will be a rare thing in the near future. So if we can provide that expertise, that would already put us on the map. But if we can have additional things like just marketing, visual expertise, and so on, yeah, then we have a full a turnkey solution, a full service solution, I should say, for the customers. And if we are able to raise the expertise of all the people working on that, and then people will know if they come to us, we know what the quality is, and we don't have to sift through 1,000 developers or freelancers or whatever, and not knowing which ones are reliable. That might make us the go-to place for a lot of organizations. Of course, there's some wishful thinking there. It's what I hope will happen. There's a lot of work we need to do before we get there, but it's a definite opportunity. So summarizing, goals: support the development of Hyperon and ASI chain, creating a community of builders, develop DEEP as a platform is still there, develop operations as a service is relatively new. Whereas 1 and 2 will align very much with the goals of SingularityNet and Eightfold Path that is providing us with our budget. And 3 or 4 are more to the benefit of us here together. So they will be more performance based. So that will be both a challenge and an opportunity to us. Last slide, ladies and gentlemen. How does this impact our organization and planning? The honest answer here would be, I don't know. Because a lot of things are still being discussed. There are maybe even other parties that might tie into this. I don't know where there will be opportunities where SingularityNet might take over some of our work, and in others where we might take over some of the work of SingularityNet. I mostly see opportunities in the second version, so that's what I'm driving for and I'm trying to achieve. But it's still an emerging thing, and yeah, this is quite recent also, and yeah, there are more people involved, and it will need and it's quite fundamental, some of these changes, so it will take a little bit of time to get through the bottom of that. So we will keep doing all the operational tasks. Well, I've said it 20 times during this presentation. We will focus on developer outreach and community building. But how exactly, who, where, and what the structure will be around it, how we will organize it is not quite clear yet. And we might, instead of the current approach where almost, well, everything really is done on an hourly based way, I expect to see more projects, more tasks wrapped in project format, probably with a fixed fee, fixed scope, clear agreements there. Yeah, that's all, folks. And there are a lot of things I would like to be clearer about and answer you, but I think, yeah, you have to be a little bit patient, and maybe I'll come back to you and ask for advice and consultancy, either on Mattermost or in some meeting this year or early next year. Judith, because last slide.
Oh, perfect. Good timing. Oh, that was a lot. Thank you, Jan. It was really well explained. So there's I guess, a issue that our circles are now facing. So we have the half-yearly reports coming up, right? And in those half-yearly reports that we'll be presenting in January, which is basically the report for the last last 6 months and how everything went, but we were also asked to include the vision for 2026 and our goals for 2026. Now, we started those reports before we heard the presentation and we had the details. So I'm assuming a lot of circles will have not considered the new direction or the evolved strategy in the goal setting for 2026. Now, how should we ensure that the circles are aligning their strategy to this evolved strategy, especially because all of us are probably missing some details on OpenCog, Hyperon, and ASI Create, and I think we're all missing some information that would allow us to come up with a really good strategy that allows us to support ASI Create. So I think before we dive deep into each circle strategy and align it to the evolved vision, we need some more education pretty fast on ASI Create and Hyperon so that we can all strategize much better. Do you have an idea on what we can do there?
Yeah, I actually gave the message or instruction to ask all of you not to work on your planning, but I believe some of that got lost in translation somewhere, so there was some confusion around that I noticed. But I would advise everybody right now, we can still do the health yearly review, but focus on the past health year and what have you done, what are the numbers, what have you achieved. I think that would be a great thing and part of the work. And then in the next, probably in January, we can have a little bit more information. For instance, I would like to know more what things are available to us to take over from SingularityNet and what maybe if there are things that are going the other way around, for instance. Maybe there are other opportunities that are not clear on the table right now for us. So I wouldn't be able to make this planning yet, not for the program, not for any circle. So I think it's clearly too early to ask you for plans, and I'd rather not ask you for plans that very quickly after we need to debunk because they're not aligned with the context and the environment anymore. So yeah, the quick answer is wait a little bit. What you can do already, and I originally had a slide there, is if you're thinking about the next year, think how is what we are doing in our circle aligned? There are two things basically. How is this aligned to ASI tech stack, or how can we align it better, and what do we need for that? And the other would be, are there things that we are now doing hourly based that we can turn into packages and more project-based approach? I think those would be the main angles for you to look on the next year. But I don't expect any plans yet. We'll have to figure out what the landscape looks like the beginning of next year.
And you will leave that decision to every circle individually in terms of what kind of hours they can package, or will there be some guidance from deep funding staff?
No, I'm telling you not to make plans. So I'm not leaving. The only thing is, if you want to prepare, then already think about not what the country can you do for you, but what you can do for the country. So what you can do for the tech stack and how you can support that from your circle, or maybe a couple of circles together can work on some things. I see that also as a very clear opportunity. Maybe that's also a benefit from doing things more project-based. For instance, if we are making educational materials, there might be a role for marketing and visual. There might be a role for expertise coming either from developer outreach or from the review circle. There might be a role for, well, this one man not circle egu in a deep academy context. So yeah, I can see multiple people or circles coming together in the future working on such a project. Which might also diffuse the whole circle concept if we work more on these kind of things and they are overarching. So that is the kind of dynamics that we have to deal with.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Raphael.
Yeah. Thanks, Jan. I guess there's a lot to figure out still. But I'd like to ask in the meanwhile, should we do? Should we continue the regular activities as normal? Or, I mean, for us, we're going to stop events, but community hubs, they still working and other things like that.
That's a very good question. So for now, things will still continue as normal until we have a clear new goal. We can't do anything else. So for instance, a good example is the ideation channel that has just started. We said we would be conservative in funding. Well, this is very conservative. It's a very small thing. And it is aligned to ASI Create. So that's also, so we already are thinking about that. So I would say, I wouldn't start a new lab project or a new challenge or a new initiative that is not aligned with that tech stack. That is one thing, what you should not do. If you do have an initiative or an idea that is aligned, well, we can discuss whether there's an opportunity for that, as in the ideation channel. Marketing, I think Andrea asked me in some channel the other day what to work on. And I advised to work a little bit on materials that would help people, third parties, understand better what we are doing. So we're now getting at finally at a moment where our web structure is presentable, almost mature. There's some things that we still need to do there, but it's looking at the product switcher at the top, and all the websites are looking really great, I think. If we want to onboard partners on our platform, if we want to make them interested in joining our platform, it would be great to have some material for them, so it's easier for them to understand what we do. And some things are not visible on the front end or not easy. The flow to submit a proposal, that multi-step flow with milestones and team members and so on, is not, no partner will find that unless they really deep dive, and nobody will do that. So if we can present that in a video, that would be very nice. If we can present how a partner would work in the future with our escrows, which we cannot name escrows, sorry, automated payment system, and make that visible and have a story around that, that would help a lot, including the rewards they will get if there is money in that automated payment system. We can explain them about an ideation challenge and how you can go from an ideation challenge to a hackathon, to a lab project, to an RFP. We can tell them about the difference between open-ended RFPs and regular RFPs and what it means. Unfortunately, we don't have any live on our project platform right now. I hope we can have some RFP live, at least on the developer hubs, that we can get started on that. But yeah, that is something I think would be helpful, and would be helpful for us and for you to to take our faith a little bit more in our own hands, so to speak.
Any other questions for Jan? Or Jan, you would have to continue.
Funny.
Yeah, just I don't think you've seen it in the chat, Jan. I was just asking if we can have the link to the slides so we can like mull it over a bit more because
Yeah,
there's quite a lot
sure.
in there.
Happy to. No, I don't. I'm really bad at multitasking, and I don't even see it right now. I will. Oh, by the way, I'll stop sharing. I wasn't aware that I was still on that last slide, and now I can also see the chat. Yeah. So how many people are there? Oh, we grown all the way to 49. That's not too bad. So I will share the presentation later in the All Circles channel.
Ian,
Yeah, and on your slide, I
also,
think. Oh, sorry.
no, go on, please, go on.
Yeah, I think you were on questions. I don't know whether you wanted to share something again or you were just taking questions from us.
I'm not just taking question. I thought it's better to look at all of you than at that last slide, which says questions or ends right now.
Sure. Raphael, please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Priska. So from an operations perspective, we are in this constant moving environment, right? Not only for Web3, but also AI in general. And sometimes we need to pivot, or sometimes we have to completely change direction when news comes, right? And especially for SingularityNet ecosystem, these news come in very fast ways sometimes. So sometimes while driving and piloting this amazing chip that is the deep funding program, things change. We try to follow the speed, and sometimes things happen as what we saw most recently about the perspective and planning for 2026, which is, I believe, classified now that we had also explained this part here. But one thing that Ian mentioned here is about circles in general. Circles are here. Circles will potentially still exist. But just to make you just to explain a bit deeper, this perspective of projects might become also something very important for us, right? Where we have a project itself, and then we are seeing that project itself with more focus in that part, multiple backgrounds and a diverse, a multidisciplinary approach for solving that project. Honestly, I've been talking with this change, we also see a lot of opportunities. And one opportunity that I see is something that is desired for a long time, which is this approach where uh, members will participate in projects, well, this project and that other project, going forward and taking this vision and mission of SingularityNet and DEEP funding forward. So again, it's not for we are doing anything on. I am also understanding in building this scenario with SingularityNet, but just to let you know,
I'm afraid you're breaking up, Rafa.
where well, perhaps circles are there, but members will be more focused in projects that are happening given your background and expertise. Okay, this is something, fortunately, this is a good thing that we are going to try from this. Could you hear me?
Not the last part, I'm afraid. So I think you may need to fill us in on the Mattermost maybe, but this is probably not the last conversation we'll have around it. Maybe Rafa, you will come back at the end of this session with another maybe more positive note. So I hope you will still be around by that time. And otherwise, this is a reason for everybody to stick along until the end of this call.
Priscilla, are you still here?
It looks like Priscilla dropped off the call. Maybe she's having reception issues. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jan. Thank you so much. I thought I was expecting Raphael to say something, and then I was expecting Priscilla to say something, and then I didn't get anything from both of them. All right. Oh, thank you. Jan, are you taking more questions, or we are good as it is right now, so that we can move to the other items?
Facilitator of this meeting, what's next?
Okay, you want us to go to what is next? Okay, yeah. So the next item on the agenda is our yearbook update presentation by Mariam. So I was just asking if you are fine with what we've discussed so far on the strategy updates, deep strategy updates, basically. And then in the chat, I don't know if you saw, Vani says it feels almost like we could end up with the circles as a place where we discuss particular domains of work and ideate, and then people from these circles get together to work on projects. You know, each circle putting forward the best people to work on it with a question mark. So I guess she's looking for a feedback from you.
Well, it's an idea, and yeah, these are one of the ideas that we can contemplate and consider and think about. I really truly don't have any idea on how this will work. I need a little bit more information myself to be completely convinced of what the right direction will be here. I haven't figured that out. But yeah, certainly that. I mean, having people from multiple circles work together more closely is a good thing. It's one thing that has been on my mind for the past half year or something, where we have been very successful in creating circles. But now we have the risk that circles become silos. So now the next step would be making circles collaborate on joint projects. So yeah, that could be an interesting direction.
All right. Thank you. Priscilla, back to you.
Thank you, Ayu. So, please, are we done with the questions? It looks like we've spent almost 50 minutes on this particular subject. If we are done, we can move on to the next thing on the agenda.
Yes, we're done.
So next on the agenda, we have Edwin. So let me give a backstory. So today, the ideation challenge has been opened. So anybody or everybody can submit in an idea. And last week on the town hall, Edwin took us to the website, how to submit an idea and how the website looks currently. So he's here to just give us a simple steps on how to actually submit an idea, just for anyone who is not technical or don't know much about even the website, just so you want to submit an idea. Edwin, are you here?
Yeah, Priscilla. Yeah.
Okay. So please go ahead. Thank you.
Can I share my screen? Let's see.
Moment. Okay.
Okay. I'm guessing many of you know the site by now. It's in the product switcher deep ideation. So anywhere you are, I mean, you can just go on the product switcher to deep ideation. So this be where ideas will be once we launch a new challenge, a new idea challenge, it will be the fresh one is the agentic AI ideation challenge. You can see right here. When you scroll down, you can see the banner that is there. And previously, before the town hall, the login wasn't available, wasn't integrated yet. We were looking to integrate the new SSO, but I think it will take a couple of weeks. So we've reverted back to the old one. So you should be able to log in. Let me just log out and do this again. So using your old logins on the deep funding platform, you should be able to log in. That's your username and your email and password. Once you log in, it should direct you to your dashboard on the ideation portal. That's where you see if you've submitted an idea, you can see it. If you your notifications are there, if you ever need to submit idea, is there. So you can track all your ideas you've been submitting right here using the same credentials you are used to. And let me just say, most of the things that are on the site, you need to be actually logged in to actually make use of them. Things like upvoting an idea, you need to be logged in before you can upvote an idea. To downvote an idea, you need to be logged in. To submit an idea, you need to be logged in to be able to submit an idea. So if you want to jump straight to the ideation, to just submit an idea for this, you can use, there are plenty places where you can sort of submit, go into the challenge right away. We have one here, down there. We have submit. Oh, sorry. We have submit right here. We have right here. So let me just choose the one on top. Now, once you click on submit idea, you can see the idea checker staring at you. So if you are ever unsure of your idea or you need some guidance, you can actually use the idea checker to analyze your idea. Once you analyze an idea, I mean, you get a result of it and you either refine it or you go back to the drawing board and work on your idea. I'm not doing that today. So you can see this is the form to submit the idea. You get to input your title, the track, and now the idea challenge. You can see the new one that we have here. That is the agentic idea challenge. That's the one running currently. All other ones, I mean, old challenges that we did. Then you get to go through all the fields that we have here. Once you are done, you move to the next, and this will be the proposal overview. You get to flesh out the ideas such as the problem statement, the proposed AI solution, and the impacts and the key features. So the asterisks are sort of, I think, mandatory for you to fill. Let me skip this. So once you move, you'll see an overview that's the last stage. This will give you a summary of what your idea is about. And you realize that you can't submit an idea without agreeing to our terms and conditions. So over here, once you click here, it should lead you to all the terms and conditions with regards to the idea. So there's no confusion in the future. So once you check this and submit an idea, your idea is actually going to be submitted and populated on the dashboard. So once you go to your dashboard, if you ever submitted an idea, you should see it here, and it should reflect on the ideas that we have. I mean, the Open Ideas AI for Peace Challenge. So it should reflect over here. That's simple. I don't know if anyone has questions with regards to idea submission, but that's the whole flow we have.
Vani, please go ahead.
Yeah, just a really quick one, Edwin. A couple of people in the ambassador program this morning were saying that they couldn't log in. Is that likely to be because of the tweaks you were making and likely to be fixed now, or do you think there's a deeper issue?
Okay, I don't know that at what time they tried, but
About
on
11 o'clock
Tuesday,
this morning, I think it would have been.
they tried 11 o'clock this morning. Do the same credentials log? If the same credential logs them in deep funding, we should be able to log them over here because it's the
Okay.
same credentials we are using.
Oh, that's weird. Hmm. No, because Tevo was saying that he couldn't log in and he couldn't create a new account, whereas a couple of other people said they couldn't log in and they did just create a new account. So yeah, I don't know.
That is weird because
I'll get them to check again.
yeah,
Like,
I'm
yeah.
trying to check again because I've used my old account, it works. I think the only thing we are missing over the log is the social login, which we've not done yet, but it should be in a couple of days or so. I mean, a day or two.
Maybe, Vani, it depends on the time when you did it, because before this we had the new single sign-on, and that didn't work with your old password, which is exactly the reason why we reverted back to the current system. So if they tried it yesterday or the day before, then they wouldn't have been able to sign in with their old password. They would have been able to create a new one. And right now it should be possible with your old existing password.
It's weird that I mean I got in fine, but yeah, it was 10:45 this morning. Tevo was saying that he couldn't do either. So I'll just ask him to try again. I'm sure it's fixed.
I'm not sure. I'm never sure where software is concerned, but I hope it is. So yeah, we are working on the new login by DEEP functionality, but we want to have this fully cleaned up and make the transition to that as frictionless as possible and as less confusing as possible. So we'll probably see that in the coming weeks or month or so, and then we'll have a refreshed login, which will also, I think, include a wallet login. So we have the ideation. I love this site, by the way, Edwin and Dennis and team. I really think you did a great job. So with very little guidance, at least from me. So yeah, well done. And you can also, there's also some open tracks there. So for instance, you could submit an idea for Deep Funding Lab. From today on, they should all be about ASI chain and stuff like that. Yeah, and the website is also connected to the lab web shop, so you can also put an idea there, but they will all end in the same bucket of lab ideas in that sense. So, but this is the very first challenge. Maybe good to mention, it is loosely related to ASI Create. It's meant to inspire and warm up people a little bit for the launch of the product ASI Create. So I expect it will be launched in the coming week or so, but invite only. When we have a proper working wallet on it, then people can actually buy, compute, and we can open it for a larger community. But I expect that will be no sooner than February. So what we will do, except from the normal reward, is also hand out some, well, call it vouchers for people that can already get early access to ASI Create and start tinkering around. And there's no strict connection with the idea. You can have an idea here, get that voucher, and then work on something completely different, or you can actually try and make that idea happen on ASI Create. That's up to you. But I think we mentioned here 20 most original or interesting ideas might get an early access voucher or invitation to ASI Create. We are working on some documentation of ASI Create. Albino will make a presentation video of where the product is today. I expect that will be here at the end of the week. We'll add it to the blog and maybe we'll give some more notifications around it. And there should also be documentation on the Superintelligence website with a page on information on ASI Create. So we'll also update the blog with that information once it is available. But great job, everybody, including Rafa for creating the content for this and driving this and making sure that this would happen. And the blogs all published from our central CMS or content hub. So it's created centrally, not on this website, but with a checkbox, it gets published on this website. So that also holds great promise for the future and how we can maintain all these websites. Applause for everybody who was part of it.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you want to know more about the ideation challenge, you could go to the blog and read. They have timelines there when the challenge will end, when review will happen, when the winners will be announced, and all those great stuff. Yeah, you don't want to miss it. Thank you, Edwin. Thank you, Jan, for adding up. Moving on. We spoke about deep love and we had a lot of positive feedback from you guys. So we have Mariam here who will be giving us a little presentation on it. Hi, Mariam.
Hello. I don't know why I got scared. I was wondering what I was supposed to do again. All right. So, yeah, welcome to the last All Hands of the Year, everyone. And a few events ago, we announced that we're going to create a yearbook. Now, due to some last-minute submissions and some last-minute changes, in fact, there were people still filling the form as of 2 minutes to the start of All Hands. So it is ready, but it's not totally ready, right? It's going to be available for downloads on the website by the end of the week, but I have something to share with you so you can see. Also, if you haven't submitted, if you have not filled the form, now is your chance to do so. So we are able to do it in the last draft and then, send it to operations to upload for us, and we'll be able to have it on our devices by the end of the week. But I'll be sharing my screen now to be showing you what it currently looks like. And first of all, thank you everyone for filling the form, for indulging me in the DMs, for sending such warm words. Someone like Richard was so lovely, in receiving. Anyways, this is it, guys. This is our cover page. Can you see my screen? All right. So this is our cover page. Jan, tada! This is Jan's message to the community. It's really warm. I encourage you to read it. And these are some highlights of the year, metrics applied to us by Operations Circle. And these are some of the nice things you said about deep funding and being a part of deep funding. So here we have Francis, Andre, Jaffrey, Greg, Obed, Nora, Richard, Usman, Ace, Priscilla, Abdul, Arslan, Manuel, Kudus, some nice things. Then we have like the deep love notes section where there are more in-depth things with your pretty faces. Right. It was interesting to finally see the faces of some people. Well, that's how that's yes and yes. Keep going, let's keep going. Yeah. And then this is Haley. Haley had a message to share. Esther too did, but Esther one isn't up yet. And then, more of us, more of us, and more of us. And yay, Pressa with his special message as well. I wanted to use the very interesting selfie he had sent. He was wearing, I think, a Spanish style hat maybe we might just share that on the call, but not include it in the yearbook just to save his dignity. But then again, he did say I should make my choice. So I think this was the least embarrassing, cute photo Raphael sent over.
Came
And
in
then,
the
yeah.
right moment, right, Mariam?
Yes, the right moment is a come. Yes, and then some more of us, some more of us, more of oh yes, and this is Ayo specifically asked that we use a photo of him playing golf while wearing the Deep merch. So Ayo, your request was granted. Some more of us, more of us, more of us, still some more of us, and then me ending it last because as creator of the yearbook, I forgot to film mine too. And then yes, we had a lovely tribute here to Rama. I'm just that's important to just have a page, just for him. And then yeah, and basically creditors, credits and contributors names there that you know. And ta-da! That is the end of the yearbook. So there are a few more additions we would have. There's going to be a photo booth page of sorts that would carry photos from AI for Good, and then a separate page that would carry photos from the hackathon finale that we had in Lagos. And then, there's still going to be some random selfies like the one Yan sent and the one Raphael sent and the one Judith sent, I think. The one Ayo too had the whole album for us to choose from. And so we'll just include those very witty, funny photos too in a separate page. And then, special messages like the ones from Esther. And then some of the last minute submissions that we got so that we accommodate, for that. Like I said, some people still submitted 2 minutes to all hands. So we'll just include all of those. And yeah, so expect maybe 4 or 5 more pages. But this is technically what we have. What do we think, guys?
It is bloody amazing. It is really wonderful. It is so great. I can't tell you. Also great from everybody of you to actually submit those messages. That's not always the easiest to get. So thank you for collaborating. And it looks great. The layout is great. The all the photos in there are great. I want a hard copy.
All right, so
Yes,
sure,
definitely.
we'll send you over the file, and I'm sure you can just easily print. That's the whole point.
Good
The whole point
answer.
is
Good
so you can
answer.
easily print wherever you are and have a hard copy to yourself. And yeah, but Ayo could also include it in the merch because Ayo seems to be the plug for Deep merch. So in case he's sending out merch packages to anybody, Ayo could possibly include the hard copy as well. Okay, I want to stop sharing now so I can, get more feedback.
This is so lovely, Miriam. Everybody is just saying beautiful, good work,
Oh,
Miriam.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, and
Love.
thank
Oh,
you to
yes,
everybody
love. You
who
have
brought
not
in.
filled the form. Love, Rakosi, Lawrence. These are people who have not filled the form. But thank you guys for your warm words. And yes, like I said, it's going to be available for download on the website. If you still want to fill the form, please do so. Would definitely accommodate your responses as well. We look forward to it. So yeah, thank you everyone. And that is the end. Thank you for participating. I had a very lovely time actually putting this together.
Thank you, Miriam.
Krista, over to you.
Please, if you haven't submitted yours, do so. It would be lovely to see everybody's faces in there. Actually, I have one beautiful picture of Rafael Cardoso. It's still in my archives, and I'll send it over so that Miriam, you add it to it because we need to see that one
The
with
one
the
with the
yellow.
wig. With the
Yes,
wig, with the
yes,
blonde wig. All right, all right. Thank
yes,
you. Much appreciated.
yeah.
Thank you.
And the picture I had, he had this funny spectacles on. It was red, and he had this gangsters. I'll send it. You see. You have a look at it. Oh, thank you guys for it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. Okay, so on the last things on our list, we have since today is the last all hands, we've given out space for everybody in the community to just say anything on their mind. So this particular session is for the community. Do you have any question that you've been longing to ask, but have never gotten the opportunity to? This is the time to do so. Any suggestion, any kind remarks, since we are closing the year, whatever thing you want to say, the floor is open for you. We can just unmute and then speak, or just raise your hand and you'll be called upon to speak. We have like 10 minutes for that, so.
Not the very last thing. The very last notification will come from Rafa right after this, before everybody starts walking away. Don't walk away.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So guys, you have the floor. Anyone that want to say anything? Going once, going twice.
Judith
Judith
has
her hand.
Oh, okay. Judith, please go ahead.
Well, don't want to close out the year without saying thank you, obviously. I mean, the biggest thanks, first of all, needs to go to Jan and Raphael. I have absolutely no idea how they're doing their job. Absolutely no idea how you can be involved in so many meetings, so many conversations, always be supportive, always be listening, always be there, always be responding so fast. I have no idea. To me, that is an AI level, I don't know, type of operation. To me, that's almost not humanly possible. I have no idea how they do it. I just want to say thank you. I don't know what our community would do without Jan or Raphael. I don't know if we'd be able to even operate or exist because they're giving us so much support and guidance. I don't have this prepared really well, but yeah, all I can say is thank you. Both of you have been incredible. You've I don't know, I can't put it into words. I guess thank you is probably not enough, but I'm considering myself, and I think we can all consider ourselves extremely lucky to have both of you as the, so to say, leaders in a decentralized environment, but all leaders, we are beyond blessed. So thank you. And the second thank you obviously goes to the community, which, I mean, by now we're over 100 people. Everyone has been contributing time, ideas. I mean, it takes a village, obviously. That is us. And yeah, thank you for being here. Even some of you are not getting paid much. Some of you are getting paid quite decently, but you have huge responsibilities like families and other jobs. And you still manage to contribute to this very, very, very meaningful cause. So that is it. Thank you.
Is it only me or I'm feeling emotional already? No, like, truth be told, I'm feeling emotional. Thank you, Judith. These are really kind words to hear from you. I don't want to cry on time.
And I'm sure everybody agrees with me that we should return the compliments, Judith. You're an amazing person in this community, and you do so much for so little in return. And we should be very grateful to you as well.
I can go further and say that this community and program wouldn't be the same without Judith, which is one of the most old member in our community here, contributing from the beginning with a lot, and in many places, many roles. So definitely, you were in doubt how myself and Jan we managed to handle so much workload. It's exactly because people like you, Judith, that are composing this community here that drives us, not only supporting but also being the aim that we have to make feel good. So yeah, thank you all actually in order to support us in this journey.
Yes, thank
you
you all. I
guys.
mean, I couldn't do anything without everybody else in here, so it's all a team effort. Everyone's
On a
amazing.
lighter note, there are some interesting things in the comments. Jan, there's a lot of questions. People want to find out whether you have like 5 clones already.
No,
And
no.
yeah,
It's 7,
you got
actually.
7. Wow. And sometimes I find it fascinating. I come online and you are always online.
Sometimes
Yeah,
I ask myself if Jan is in my country at the same time zone, because I go to sleep, Jan is awake. I wake up, Jan is awake. So what's going on here? But yeah, that's good. It's a truly a giver of his work and time and effort, even health. That's why we are going forward, definitely, because of his
Yeah.
leadership.
well, I have a very understanding wife, and maybe you should thank her as well for giving me that time.
Oh,
Oh,
then thank you, Mrs. Hollings, for giving us Jan to always be there for us anytime we need him. You could literally send a document like 2 a.m. my time, and Jan will read and give you feedback like 4 a.m. It's serious, Jan. Well done. And it shows the heart you have for deep funding. And we as members in the circle, we appreciate the sacrifice and the effort and the love you've shown us. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, everybody. So I
yes,
think, do anybody has anything else to say?
I do. Actually, I do, Put, and
Go
thank you for
ahead.
asking. It's because with everything that we are saying here, right? I'm thanking you all, the community members, and your support towards making us, towards making this program feasible and driving our vision. I have a surprise for you. So, given the fact that we are by the end of the year now, many people are also taking some days off, and which is some kind of regular, right? To have, we are starting this initiative of Deep Shop, right? With a huge support from Edwin here, which actually I am saying support, but he was the one deploying the idea exactly. So going beyond the words of thank you and how we appreciate your effort, we are distributing to all members that contributed to us in this 2025 vouchers for you to go to into the Jeep shop and redeem some merchandises that we have there that were developed especially for this occasion here. And I hope you all will be very satisfied with the not only the quality but also with the possibility of having the first batch of Jeep funding material, right? This is going to become relics where you're going to have, hey, I had this one from the first batch when we are even greater than where we stand today. So again, thank you very much. This is a small token of appreciation that we are sharing with you to have. I'm not sure, Edwin, will you be able to share the screen and go to the shop, show members perhaps the main page and how they can redeem and so on?
Absolutely. Sure. So just if let me launch the deep shop. I think I saw the switcher right here. Okay, so it's not anything fancy though, but we have all the items here. I think we are looking at 5 items, and you can select any of them. Guessing many people will go for the hoodie. But let's see, if you want the t-shirts, you just click on the t-shirt. I mean, once you click on the t-shirt, you can see we have only three colors: white, black, and the navy. There's the navy, there's the white, and that's the black. And we have sizes from small to 5XL. I don't know if there's anyone very huge than 5XL. So you sort of you add it to the cart. Once you add it to the cart, it's gonna log register over here and sort of check out. So the voucher, Raphael, did you mention the value of the voucher?
No, I didn't. And also about the shipping. If you, we are distributing a voucher of $60 where you can purchase the items that you want, including multiple. And also the shipping will be on us, okay? For you to not have to worry whether you live in a far country or a closer one and have to wonder and receive less than what others are receiving, okay? So yeah.
Okay, so you can see the t-shirt is only I think $24, and the voucher will come in the form of an email. Everyone will receive an email with a voucher. You have to input the voucher here and apply it just as I've done, and it's gonna apply the $60 on anything that you've selected. If indeed you select things that are more than the $60, then you kind of have to put a card behind to pay for the rest. And yeah, I mean that's but if it's below $60, then your total will be zero, and you can just input your address and everything where you want it shipped, and you can complete the order. But if it's more than the $60, then here will sort of be like pay now, because let's try this. Let me add more things to assuming I want everything, right? Let's go down. I want the cap as well. And let's add this to the cart. Okay. So I have all of this, but it's more than my voucher. So you can see it has sort of stripped out the value of the voucher. This voucher is worth only $50. So due $40. And you can see the shipping has been stripped off and it's being taken care of by deep funding. So I will have to input a payment detail because I have a cost involved. But if you actually choose items less than the 60, you are going to get those items for free. So basically that's it. And you can find the site in any of the product switcher. It's just deep-shop.ai. Any questions?
If you order less than 60, does the remaining amount, is that still available for you for a later moment?
Yeah, it's a gift voucher. I mean, it's still a credit that is there that you can use. But if we do give the voucher an expiry date, then it expires during that time.
Okay, but if you want to use the remaining amount, you have to enter the code again in your next time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, I would like to extend my gratitude to both Rafa, Edwin, and Seth. I heard Seth had a role in this as well. This wouldn't have happened if Rafa hadn't pushed for it and if Edwin wouldn't have made it a reality. We've been thinking about a shop and wanting a shop for years, literally. There was that administrative hurdle that we weren't able to pass or work around, and every time we bumped our head and was very frustrating. But thank you, Rafa, for persevering here. And it's great timing, I would say. And thanks, Edwin, for putting work to it. We call it a proof of concept because there are just 4 products here. We might have a new storefront on this. Edwin has great ideas about this and has done a lot of work on this in the past. I know that Ben was actually very enthusiastic about it, and we might see other merge here in as well, ASI merge and ASI chain and Hyperon and all that stuff. Not sure if it will all be under the Deep Shop AI, that's to be determined, but I think this is a milestone achievement at the end of the year. So well done and great work. Thank you. And thank you all. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Edwin? This is so beautiful. I can't wait to have mine. So that when I'm hosting events, I'll just wear it and be repping my cap, deep funding and all. Okay, so we've come to the end of the all hands, but Jan wanted us to have a quick message from Raphael.
That was the message,
Yeah.
Priska.
Oh,
It
okay,
was.
okay.
Nevertheless, I would love to yet again give my best wishes in this time here, but also congratulate all of you for thank you and congratulate you for all the effort that you put in our program. We are really amazed by everything that we can achieve and that we have achieved at this point here. And like what we just announced here, I expect to have in the future many more initiatives that will contribute to the community growth and also belonging of each of us. Okay, I hope you enjoy the journey that we have ahead of us.
Yeah, you too, and safe travels.
Thank
Jan,
you.
do you have any last words for us?
No, yeah, before Jan speaks, when are we resuming? When is the next event next year?
Is that
Did you get that?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I believe we can aim for the second half of January to have the all hands starting again along with the town halls. But let me check the date more specifically and I will share in the all circles channel, okay? I mean, the
All right.
resume of these meetings, right? You all might
Yes.
remember that we have this new communications framework where we are having a different approach for meetings. Those meetings with clusters and circles are no longer. So we are bringing fresh new information to you about these potential meetings. Jan, you would like to complement? You were about to say something.
No, I was just invited to say something, and I thought the question of Ayo, I wasn't sure to whom it was addressed. So, but you answered it, so that's all good. Yeah, I've written an intro in the yearbook. I've written an intro for the newsletter, looking back on the year, and there are many different ways of looking back on the year. The most profound way I mentioned in the yearbook, but I invite you all to read about that. Yeah, I didn't think 4 years ago when we started this initiative we would be here with so many people like you, 50 on the call, 100 on the channel, all contributing to us. And I think that yearbook is great, great, great timing, great work and great timing to show and to showcase internally, celebrate, but also show to the outside world what we are and who we are. And I hope we will display it very prominently everywhere. I'm not sure if it's for the wider public or just internal. I'm not 100% sure, but I hope it's also for the wider public so that everybody can meet us and meet the community, because yeah, it's all about you. You made it all happen. And I hope we can reinvent ourselves yet another time. We've done that multiple times, I think, already. And I'm so curious next year, December, where we will be, and what we will have achieved. And but it might be quite amazing with ASI Chain Live, Hyperon getting to bloom. new work, a larger community, hopefully. So it won't be without challenges, I can promise you that, but yeah, where will be the fun without a challenge? And that's what we've seen last year as well. We've had a fair share of challenges, I would say, a fair share. But here we are. And yeah, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for going in the journey together with us. Thank you for your resilience of not letting go, but sticking along. And I'm counting on the same thing for next year. So see you then.
That's a great way to end the all hands. Thank you everybody for coming on here for our last all hands. Hope to see you guys next year, which is some few weeks to come. Yeah. And enjoy your holidays. You could just unmute and say bye-bye to somebody, then we close the meeting.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, somebody.
See you guys.
Christmas.
Thank you so much.
Evening and
Bye-bye.
afternoon.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Yan,
Thank you.
Yan,
Thank you, Esther.
Yan, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss Yan.
You can message me anytime, Ayo.
No, I want to miss you.
Want to?
I will be watching the YouTube channel of Deep Funnies with all the town halls just to see Ian again and his work.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, that's what I would do.
Eating ice cream and crying. Oh, where is Ian?
Oh my! All right, guys. Bye. See you next year.
Bye,
Bye bye, Ayo.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Happy Xmas.
Bye, guys.